love a happy ending. So I just finished Believe Me, and it was kind of perfect, not gonna lie. It starts off with the epilogue of the final book of the series, and it expands on it more. The wedding that night is canceled due to electricity needs. They can't, it's getting really cold, and they kind of need to keep the kids warm. So, unfortunately, it's canceled for the night, and Warner's kind of smiling like a lot. Like a lot. He's basically drowning himself in work, communicating with the other Supreme kids to basically put the world back into rights. And Nizara, of course, stay to be with Kenji, and they're getting there, and they're flirting. At this point, they're kind of official. But Warner, he's not the best right now, just because, like, he doesn't really have a spot in the sanctuary with anything except for Juliet. Juliet's kind of like his grounding. But he's not doing well, not gonna lie. And Kenji is trying his best to help, and everybody's trying to like help him for the most part. Of course, they still have to deal with their prejudice against him. Yeah, he was kind of not very nice at the beginning, but and he's still technically not very nice to a lot of the characters so far, but he's getting there. And with Kenji's help, he got Juliet two rings. One for their actual engagement and two for the actual wedding. And man, he put thought and time into this. He designed those rings himself. Like, get you a man who actually can like put in time and effort. Like, but through it all, Juliet's been seeming more distant, and Noria and Sam have just been like really abrasive with him. And he can feel everybody's emotions. And it goes into far more detail in this book of like him feeling emotions. He feels the hatred towards him. He feels a lot of the lust towards him. And he just has to sit there. We're like, great. And ew. Yeah. I would hate to feel everybody's emotions. Like, ooh. Especially towards me, especially in like certain contexts. Like, ew. No. 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 And of course, Juliet's been more distant, and she's lying, and he can sense that she's lying. And she's like, great, she hates me and wants a divorce already. Of course, that is just his fears talking, and it's really not that bad, but there's still a sense of, I deserve nothing of this. And it's just all. Ugh, there's just. All of his thinking is just pretty much just, I'm a horrible person. I'm a monster. And this stems a lot from his father and just how he was treated as he grew up. And it was just like, wow. Whoa. But he his new favorite spot to sit at is the cemetery. He really likes the quiet and just kind of chilling with dead people. But knowing what we know about Warner and his tendencies, I really hope the sanctuary has a really good therapy plan, because they all need it. But yeah, the dog is sticking really close to him in the graveyard, and he kind of just lets the dog go to this girl who we haven't seen really before. She's just kind of there. And she's one of Warner's fan club girlies. And she takes care of the dog. And then Winston comes to get Aaron. And they're trying everything. And then he takes a shower. And then Juliet comes in. And this book is kind of a little bit more explicit. Not as explicit as, let's say, Agatar, but there's still stuff. Just a heads up. But eventually Kenji goes and gets him, and he's like, "Hey, Jules, you actually need to tell him what's going on." And she's like, "Okay, no." But eventually, on their way to someplace where they're not telling Warner, Juliet finally confesses that they're getting married, and everyone was a part of it. And Warner's like, "Why didn't you just go?" So like, uh, because Juliet really wanted their wedding to be special, not just for her, but for him as well, because she knew he would regret it if he was unable to give her anything that she wanted. And ooh, Kenji, real MVP of this book, because he recognizes Warner struggles with not being in control. So he's trying to get Juliet to confess, the whole wedding plan. And because nobody really wants to be surprised with their own wedding. But Aaron is taken to this house, and it's his house. Because once again, he is struggling with, living in the infirmary with multiple other people. Understandable. Kenji though is moving next door, so they are neighbors. And Aaron's like, he's gonna annoy me over the fence, isn't he? Of course, when it comes time to it, Warner actually turns to Kenji, which I did really like. It showed their deeper respect for each other, and it showed that Aaron Warner didn't only care about Juliet, he also cared about the people she loved. He could stomach sacrificing his alone time for her happiness. He would rather be assaulted with people's emotions constantly over losing her. And honestly, give and take, because Juliet also recognizes this. She's like, "Hey, I'm sorry. I know we can't be as alone as you kind of were used to, but we can find a happy middle ground. We love communication. Communication is key." But they really, Winston and Alia basically remade their whole outfits just really quick, salvaged what they could, and did what they could. And Adam is helping too with James, and just seeing those brothers just come closer together is so sweet. And I'm so happy it wasn't just like a two-dimensional character with Adam. I'm glad he got the full scope of what his trauma required of him. But at the wedding, Aaron is kind of disassociating during the setup, and even when he's at the altar with Castle, he starts to panic, because what if Juliet says no? And Kenji's like, dude, are you having a panic attack? Huh? And Warner's like, not yet. Help me, pretty please. And Kenji, the MVP, dudes, my lovelies. Oh, he starts cracking jokes and just being funny to me. Like, Juliet's gonna be so pretty. Her dress is really pretty. It has sparkles and like the flowy fabric. Yeah, the flowy fabric. What's it called? And of course, Aaron is it's Tool, but and then Juliet comes out and Aaron is recentered, and that's where it ends. I love a cute book. 5 out of 5, of course. Oh, it was so cute, and I love this book so much. Believe me, believe me, believe me. I believe so hard because I do believe that they are going to have a good future. Of course, we have the continuation of this series with James, which I'm about almost 100 pages into that, and we'll leave that for that review. But oh, it was so cute. But I will be putting kind of my art and book reviews on hold due to talk to something I am passionate about. It will continue with like writing. I do want to talk about the ending of Stranger Things. Because as okay as it was for an ending, and I did enjoy it at the time of watching, I have issues with it, honestly. Like, so I will be getting into that, and I will also be doing a very, very slight rewrite, keeping everything mostly in terms of the story as it was. I want to test myself to see what I was given with the show that I did really like up until the last season. The first 4 seasons were really good. Of course, we'll go more in depth with this in next week's video, but the ending was a letdown, and I think as a honor to the show, I can do better. So, anyway, lovelies, go make sure you drink some water, stay hydrated, go have a cookie, and I love you. All right, bye bye now. Mwah.